As we want to talk Jonathon sports, and that is high school volleyball, the host of the block party, Mr. Jonathon Langdon. First off, before we get to that, just how are you feeling 2 weeks into your new show?
I'm feeling fantastic. If you aren't joining me for the block party, you should. It's a fun time. Really enjoy just kind of giving the spotlight that this sport deserves, especially on the girls' side. That tends to get overshadowed by football season. We want to try to keep light on that. Really good time showing some top plays last week, and then just also talking to some real fantastic coaches that we're going to get to talk about here as we break down the final week before tournament draw, which is going to be a really exciting time if you're a volleyball fan.
Yeah, absolutely. I love calling volleyball. Brian's the soccer guy calling all the soccer matches this year, but you and I really enjoy, now that I've learned some of the lingo, as you see, Brian Skoronsky on the call. First half of the girls' side of things, Mansfield Christian up against Centennial 1-0. That is on our Facebook and our main YouTube right now. Mansfield Christian boys played earlier against Upper Sandusky as well. But back to us, volleyball callers, you had Amber Christie on, I believe, last week's show. I did an interview with her. She's the one that actually taught me the lingo, the yummy ball, the campfire, calls like that. So I want to shout her out once again. But it is a cool moment for us to get some interviews from coaches that you might not see normally on some of these shows. So I like what all you do. You get the big spikes, you get some blocks as well, I saw in there. But everything. Is there anything new that you might be adding in here, or is this what we're going to be seeing here for the next couple weeks? Because it's a very good show.
Well, we're going to be seeing a lot of tournament talk. My plan, not for this week, but the following week, once the tournament does come out, I want to talk to a couple of those coaches that made some deep playoff runs. So Caitlin Olwire, expect an email soon. Also Angie Kalazewski for St. Paul, two of those teams that we covered all the way to the state Final Four. Both of those teams bowed out early to Calvert and Marlington, correct? Yeah, Marlington was the team that was able to beat Shelby. But just kind of give the rest of the area kind of an idea and just a little glimpse into what the mindset of those teams were as they were making their run. So that should be exciting to do after we cover some brackets of everything that comes out. And these brackets are going to be huge because it's going to determine whether you get a fairly easier path or you're going to have to run into one of those top dogs in the divisions, because it is a very big toss-up how they do things with the volleyball tournament. So I'm excited to break it down.
Well, like you said, on Sunday, the brackets will come. I love a good bracket. I mean, bracketologist Berardi Lenardi here, as we'll just also just a little tease on Friday, the Pigskin going to be breaking down some playoff ratings. We're already in week 7. How crazy is that? It isn't, because
and soon enough we're going to be in week 8.
Like
it's just absolutely insane that we are here in this position. Some big games coming up on the football side, big games on the volleyball side as conference play wraps up for both. Those are going to overlap eventually. But yeah, so tournament play, bracketology, as you said, Lenardi. That's a tongue twister. I can't get it.
Bernardi, that's actually, people actually mispronounce my last name and call me Bernardi sometimes. So it's not the first time you called me that. But we're talking about, brackets will be out on Sunday, but we can't start right now about some of our favorites. So, Jonathon, without further ado, who are some teams that you believe right now could make a run? Now, we always have Cinderella, a couple teams that go further than you expect or not even know, like, Shelby last year, pulling off a major victory over Highland, getting to the Final Four. We got to go to Dayton to cover them, but not talking about the Cinderellas quite yet, but some teams that you think will make strong showings in the tournament.
Yeah, sure. So I've got 5 knotted down. These are not in no particular order, except I will say I've got a special one at the end, just because of what I think is going to pan out. But I'm going to start out in the KMAC in my realm of the woods. The Centerburg Trojans made it to a regional semifinal. They ended up losing in a rough sweep to Coldwater, the team that inevitably won the Division V state championship. But they are fresh off of that regional semifinal. They're in a tough district. So if they can get out, they could get a potential big run. And my prediction ultimately is that they're going to make an appearance in the district championship game. Do they make it any further than that? The question's going to be if they can take down some of the top dogs like Fairbanks, Madison Plains, Utica, all in the top 30 in Division 5. Centerburg, according to Max Preps, it is a little loose how Max Prep does it, but Centerburg is ranked 47th in Division 5. So it'll be interesting to see how the Trojans pan out in that sort of realm. Staying in the same district, however, or the same region for Centerburg, we've got to talk about a team that we don't cover a lot on the OH report, but they definitely deserve the respect. 17-0 Pleasant Spartans. They are ranked 10th. They're the best team in that region. That's a team that, depending on how the draw goes, Centerburg is going to have to run into eventually, whether it's at Granville or it's at the regional site where I'm not sure where that is. But they have made light work of the MOAC so far. Spotless, 11-0. They lost in 3 sets they've only lost 3 sets all season, which is spectacular when you're looking at that team, and they're really young as well. Centerburg with the KMAC that we know a little bit more about, they're also very young, but this team is young. 8 juniors, 3 sophomores, and they are all big pieces to what they do. They made the state championship game last year, and my prediction is, hey, why not make another one? I don't see any reason where they could not get right back to where they were a season ago.
I mean, Cam Cockrell, one of the best kills leaders, one of the best swingers in North Central Ohio, 312 kills. She has a 57.9 kill percentage, and she's hitting 466. Those all 3 are probably the best in North Central Ohio, at least, and probably one of the best in the state.
Yeah, 400 kills her freshman season, 500 her sophomore. She surpassed 1,000 early on in this season. She's going to be a big piece to them. Of course, she's just a junior too, so even if they don't make the state championship this year, they're going to have her back next year. They'll be loaded up for another chance at another potential run. So Pleasant, love what they do. Would love to cover you guys if you're interested in having us cover your playoff run this year. But let's move on to number 3, another team that we get to see quite a bit. Or I guess I don't get to see them, but our good partner Josh Banks gets to see them at Langs. The Buckeye Central Buckettes in Division 6 really intrigue me. 13-4 coming into today, 9-1 in the N10. They lead outright in that league right now that is really stacked. And they've got capable attackers on all sides, which is, I think, something that was different from last year. They've got AJ Jury, Megan Seifert. I hope I'm pronouncing this name right. Melania Chamberlain is a new freshman for them.
Yes.
But they're all going to be capable attackers around that star setter, Marin McDougall, who we got to talk to on the podcast last week. And I know for sure they're going to be hungry. You talked about Cinderellas last year. New London was one of those, taking down Buckeye Central in a district championship game. So I think the Buckeye Central Buckettes bounce back. They've had some tight losses this year. One of my favorite statistics to look at is how do you do in high set matches. So in 5-set matches, they're able to get to 5 quite a bit, and they're able to perform well at the end of games. So that is a recipe for success in the tournament. My prediction is that the Buckettes will play for a regional championship. We'll see where it goes from there.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, Buckettes, I had them in that district championship match last year, and, McDougall's sister, Marin's sister, Mara, is now playing at my alma mater, Wheeling University. She's already getting quality playing time down there in Division II. So, that's a school that, produces big players. And, it was just a Cinderella run by New London last year that ended against New Bremen in the next round, but nobody was going to beat New Bremen pretty much that season. But, yeah, Buckeye Central, I'll actually be on the call Tuesday with Josh, next week for a big one for them. But yeah, Buckeye Central, I think they have the experience from a year ago coming back that they have a chance of doing so. But you're going to stay in the Northern 10 here because there's a team led by Biz Klopp, one of the best names in the Northern 10, and Mohawk.
Not just one of the best names, one of the best players. She is fantastic. So the Mohawk Warriors, I got to talk, if you have been joining us on the block party, I got to talk to Eric Hoover for a little short bit as we spotlighted the N10. And he's really excited about where this team is at. Believes that his girls are finally back on track after a rough week. 3 of their 4 losses this season, I think this is an important stat to note. 3 of their 4 losses came within 9 days of each other. So they just got in a really bad rut that they have since been able to break out of. And even when you look at that rut, the 3 teams they lost to Buckeye Central, they lost to Cary, and they lost to a really tough Tiffin Columbian team. So those are all very respectable losses. They've played a great schedule this year. When it comes to their tournament run, I am a little bit concerned because it will depend on their placement, because the Warriors, they have one roadblock in their way in Division 7, and that's
Number one
Calvert, team that made it to the state championship. So Calvert's going to be a big piece. I believe New Bremen is also dropped down to Division 7, so they'll also be in that area as well. So my prediction for the Warriors, I think they certainly reach a district championship with the potential to reach the regional tournament as well, depending on where they are drawn up on Sunday.
Good news, New Bremen's the number one team in D6 according to the polls, so they stayed up. But yeah, Calvert's the number one team in Division 7, but Monroeville Mohawk getting some votes. They also had a 5-set victory over Monroeville, your next team, a team I've gotten to see. And, if it wasn't for a couple errors in their numbers last year, they would have been in D7. They would have been probably playing St. Paul for a district championship, and then probably it was either them or St. Paul playing in that Final Four against Calvert. But the Lady Eagles, number 6 in Division 7, they're looking pretty darn good. They already have wins against Seneca East. They have wins against St. Paul as well, and it seems like they're on a roll, Jonathan.
Yeah, absolutely. A team I haven't gotten to see very much of, but I still am very high on them. We've seen these seniors now pretty much grow up in the program, and here they are now, coming off of a regional semifinal loss to Tenora in a really tough game. Trust me, I just feel something in the air about these Monroeville Lady Eagles. Madison Reber, Addie Adams, Alexa Adams, entire offense is going to be playing for their careers in this tournament run.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the twist I was telling you about at the end. I see Monroeville lifting a state title.
Yeah, Monroeville is, they're ready to go. Coach Kendra Snook, that's another name that you might want to talk to on the show, but they're 15-2, 4 sets to Bellevue, 5 sets to Mohawk. Before that Seneca East match, she said, you know what, they're a tough team. I don't know if we're going to have to compete with them. And then their next match was against St. Paul. She said, St. Paul's really good. They went to the Final Four. I don't know how we're going to match up with them. They swept. Her team swept both teams. Very competitive matches, but they swept both teams. So I think, coach speak, not, saying we're going to defeat a team, but Kendra Snook has a very, very good squad at Monroeville, and it seems like they're going to be on live and free against St. Paul. St. Paul trying to get back into the Firelands Conference chase, but it seems like Monroeville is going to get another number under that banner, and then number 1 seed, and it looks like we'll have a third times the charm match against St. Paul in the district. And again, I think the winner of that district probably makes it out of that region as well.
Yeah, for sure. And then a couple of honorable mentions. I do want to bring up Highland, still a fantastic team in the MOAC. I think they'll have potential for a pretty big run as well. Stick with the MOAC as well for Ontario. They're 11-7 on this season, but they are a sneaky contender. They're 3rd in the MOAC. They're 8-3 right now in the conference. They have played some tough teams, so they're battle tested. We'll see what they do moving forward in the tournament. So those Lady Warriors could be someone to look out for, but also the best player probably in Richland County is Ava Brown. So you've got to throw in that team, the Lexington Lady Lex, for a chance at a run as well.
Yeah, I like Lexington with Brown back, Tatum Stover as well. The two of them have about 500 combined kills so far this season, but it's just the two of them. Some of these other teams that you talked about, Jonathan, there's 4 players that have over 100 kills. Lexington, they have 2. The third, Temple and Thornton, both have 45 and 46, but the other teams we've seen have 3-4 leaders that can get you the kill, and that's what you're going to need when you get into the tournament, because teams can focus on maybe 1 or 2, but if you have 3 or 4, then it spreads things out.
Yeah, absolutely. So want to try to have as much depth as you can, and that's why I'm so high on Buckeye Central. I just feel like they've got that compared to what they were in last year. A couple of the other teams that we talked about, Monroeville with all of their seniors. Pleasant, always fantastic, even though they do have that top player. Is it Cockrell? Did I say it right?
Cockrell. Yeah, Cam Cockrell.
Yeah, Cockrell. So yeah, she's a fantastic player. She's got some pieces around her as well. And then my final shout out goes to Kennedy Goon from Crestview, who has her Lady Cougars rolling right now, kind of in a position that we did not expect to see Crestview in so early. I know they've got some great young pieces there, but they're starting to materialize quicker. Just one of those Crestview greats coming in, taking over the reins, and here she is having them in the conversation when it comes to Sunday and seeing where they end up.
And I'll actually have them tomorrow night, live and free on the OH Report. Yeah, she's got an impressive squad. I mean, the player that she was, just coming back out of college, coming onto the coaching ranks, she put up records at Crest. You might as well teach that, and she's one heck of a coach. And yeah, if you want to watch, Jonathan interviewed her last week on the Block Party. You can watch that anytime on our Facebook and YouTube pages. Any teases? Any teases of what's going to be on the party on Thursday?
None. I'm not giving anything away. You're going to have to go tune in. Thursday nights at 9 o'clock. Just know the tournament will be involved, but that's not all we're going to be doing.